I remember it like it was yesterday. I had just graduated from high school here in Kansas City and went off to Manhattan, Kansas. And I was excited about sort of my new life. The whole world was open to me. But beginning freshman year, I knew that I had a choice. I could continue to walk out my faith with Jesus, or I had freedom to totally go the other direction. And I didn't know exactly what I would choose, but it was my hope that I would continue to walk out my faith. And so I had heard that it took 21 days to make a habit. And so I decided, first semester, freshman year, that I was going to read my Bible and pray every day for 21 days. Now, I got to tell you, there were some days where it was great, where I had 15, 20, even 30 minutes where I'd read a passage and pray a little bit and felt great in the beautiful fall time in a new environment. There were days it was 2 a.m. in the morning and I was just getting to bed and my head hit the pillow and I was like, dang it, I didn't spend time with God today. And so I'd roll out of bed and I'd take 3.5 minutes to read something and say some sort of prayer before hitting the lights. But here's the deal. During that time, I created a habit that has continued to stay with me to this day. Not every single day, but more often than not, of spending time daily with God. And so I've just become convinced that the daily practice of reading scripture and prayer in the context of meaningful relationships is the foundation of the spiritual life. Let me say that again. The daily practice of reading scripture and in prayer in meaningful relationships is the foundation of the spiritual life. And that's what we're hoping you're embarking on here as we're doing our Believe series, as we're journeying into the life of Jesus through the book of John. And so we've given you a daily reading, and hopefully you're doing that today. You have a week under your belt. Way to go. But maybe we haven't told you maybe how to approach the scripture. And so let me give you just an easy 3-step process of getting more out of scripture. It's just called observe, reflect, and apply. Observe is just observing what is happening in the text. So in your short daily reading, read through it once and think or write down a few observations. What stands out? What are the highlights? What's happening in the passage? What questions do you have? Just let the passage sort of speak for itself. That's observing what's happening. But then don't stop there. My encouragement is to take a second step and reflect on the passage. And so oftentimes I'll say a quick word of prayer asking God to reveal something to me through the word. And I'll read a second time with sort of eyes and ears to reflect on how the unchanging truths of God that have been written might have meaning in an area in my life today. And so I'll read the passage a second time and see if anything stands out that relates a situation, a story, a verse, a phrase that might apply to an area in my life. And so that's observe what's happening in the passage, reflect how does that passage affect my life or provide meaning or is relevant. And the third step is just apply. Hopefully there's something that stands out from the scripture about my life. And then the encouragement is just to take one more step to apply that truth in some way within the next week. And so that would be my encouragement as you continue to spend time in scripture. Slow down enough to observe, then go ahead and read that daily reflection and reflect how does that apply in your life. And then write down one step that you can do to put in your life to take the unchanging truths of God and make them meaningful in your life today. I fully believe that it's the daily practice of reading scripture and prayer in the context of meaningful relationships that's the foundation of the spiritual life. And so if you haven't already done so, I'd engage with a few friends or maybe your family or around your life group as you're exploring what's God saying. What am I going to do about it? And what did you get out of it? And how can you help me live out the life God has called me to be? My hope is that this day and this time, this 40-day journey with Jesus is just a pivotal foundational time in your life growing with Jesus that changes the way you approach scripture and prayer forever.